Now, Adrian, if I can ask you to kick off by making the case for why Resi will offer the best returns in London in 2015.
Resi has always been viewed in the commercial terms quite often as the poor relation, and in terms of an asset class. I think that's changed hugely recently. From my perspective, there are some really interesting stats about London. The obvious ones are the Mayor's target of building 44,000 homes a year. In reality, there's a requirement for 50,000. Last year, we built about 21,000. So supply-demand is the general equation on that. I think there's the IPD All Returns Index, which gets quoted a lot on the commercial side. I think returns last year were 24% versus 17% on the commercial side. So you could argue maybe it's had its day.
Thank you. John, the case for commercial.
Residential has its great aspects at the moment, but I think commercial investment is good, it's straightforward. With commercial investment in London at the moment, you know what you're getting. It's a very transparent market. You've got an income flow. You've probably got a long lease and you've got security.
Mark, commercial or Resi?
Definitely commercial. In reality, for 2015, 2016, we're going to see a huge supply-side crunch. There isn't available stock which is suitable for the occupiers that actually want to go and occupy. The other sort of points to go and bring about is that there's probably only about 5 or less than 5 buildings in the central core which can actually offer 100,000 square feet of deliverable space in the next 12 months. London's economy is booming. The chief executives of major corporations are now seeking to implement their business plans that they subscribed to the stock market 3 or 4 years ago. It all creates change, and way of driving their business, they need to move. They don't have the stock available today to move.
Okay, thank you. And Bill, you're backing both. Which do you favour?
So the background is London continues to be a great city with lots of growth potential, and you can make a strong case for commercial real estate and for residential. For me, the difference between the two is principally that you've got to think about commercial real estate as still being cyclical. That's why the chaps to my left are talking about supply and whether or not there is enough supply or not. It continues to be cyclical, and at this point in the cycle, there's a really strong story for commercial real estate based on a scarcity of supply and strong demand. On a long time scale, I think residential has a different sort of appeal. On a 10-year view, I'd be backing residential. On a shorter term time frame, 1 or 2 years, I'd be backing commercial because I think the environment remains very positive.
Neil, you're sat there in the middle. What's your view?
I am sat in the middle, and I do back both. I think that both will be winners. I think any investor, whether they're from overseas or the domestic investors, will want to spread their risk, and will want to see, they'll be in there for the long term, for the long haul, and so if only we could predict the future, which is what we're trying to do here, we'd all be very, very rich indeed. So to recap, I'm sure it's not the answer you want, but I think that in the long term, I think you would back both.